do check out my special offer. You can get a 30-minute coaching call with me, and if you're not satisfied by the progress or some of the things we've identified in those 30 minutes, then I offer you 100% refund of your money. So you've got a money back guarantee from me there, so you've got nothing to lose and everything to gain. In fact, the only thing you've got to lose is perhaps your fear and confidence that's stopping you. So do feel free to check it out on initial-impact.com and book your coaching call today with me. So today I'm going to speak about raising your prices and stopping discounting. It's a big deal. Many of my clients who first come to me, if they're entrepreneurs or business leaders, they're not getting their pricing right, and it's essential to business profitability. In fact, it's crucial, and many of them are not charging enough or discounting too frequently. And I have a question on that, is why? I mean, why would you do that? So let me talk to you today about a client who's recently come to me. They have a business that provides professional services, so it's business to business, okay? And the business is relatively new. And recently I've been helping them to recreate the business in a way that makes more sense for their particular situation. There were a number of issues we identified, but some of what I found with this, okay, so he was basically charging on the low end of what people in his industry would charge per hour. And he was spending lots of time offering consultations to clients totally free. And this really didn't make much sense, because given the way that he was doing business, he was then at the maximum amount of business that he could handle, properly and effectively. And of course, doing the initial setup work totally for free, wasn't charging for time and mileage if he went to the client's office. The list was kind of endless on these things, and he was pretty stressed out, as I'm sure you can imagine. So there were a number of other things that were also going on, but those aren't really relevant to this particular podcast. Now, the first question I always ask this of every client with a business who comes to me, is like, what are you trying to accomplish with your business? And the next question, if I see it happening, is, well, how come you're not charging more? So in this case, I wondered, well, is the sector too competitive? Is he afraid to ask for more? And after a little debate and discussion, we identified that he just didn't have the confidence to raise prices. Now, if that's you, I can absolutely help you. Okay, so do feel free to book a session with me, some coaching, and we can get that fixed for you quite quickly, probably within the first 30 to 60-minute call. Anyway, given that he was already doing close to the maximum amount of business he's able to do, we agreed that it made total sense to raise the prices and see what happened. So over the course of the next month or so, we tested various pricing levels and found out that he was getting customers at pretty much 30 to 40% higher than what he was originally charging, which was kind of a welcome thing for him. And all new clients are now paying that 30% higher. And we've agreed that over time, that rate for existing clients will also be raised. So in the end, it will be either the existing clients agree to pay it, or they just have to go find somebody else. And he'll then replace those lost clients with new ones at the higher rate. So that was the first kind of result that we had there, which was brilliant. You can understand the client was exceptionally pleased with this situation. And then the next step was to get him to start charging for all the work that he was doing, because, in evaluating the time and the revenue records by client, it turned out there was a huge variability amongst clients in terms of the revenue versus the total hours worked. So it turns out again that the reason he wasn't charging when clients called him, he was also spending 15 to 30 minutes just walking them through some issue they were having, which, is really not a good thing for your business. Your time is money. Furthermore, he wasn't charging for any research that needed to be done to manage the client accounts, and he also wasn't charging for time and mileage again when he needed to go to the client's place of work. So we agreed that he would charge for all those client support calls, as well as the research about how to meet their specific requirements, charging for the time and mileage to travel there. All of these things make a huge impact into the bottom line. And this created more revenue while reducing extended client support calls, because clients were then aware you're getting charged per minute or per hour or whatever, for this. It reduced unnecessary client research and cut right down on those extra visits to clients, because many of them are now aware, well, if I'm having to pay you to come and see me, then we can just do this by a Zoom meeting or phone call. And furthermore, my client here was not charging enough for his work, and was clearly discounting in terms of doing the client work and trips for free. That's still a discount, even if it's not a special offer, it's still free. So now he's increased the revenue and the revenue per hour worked, and in order to accomplish this, he simply needed to be willing to lose some clients and some new client opportunities. Now, I understand that's a hard thing to ask any of you to do. Even myself, the last thing that you initially feel on this is, oh, I don't want to lose people. I don't want to. And it is hard, but it's necessary. You see, the funny thing is when you make this decision, you can still get more clients than you can handle, because that's happening for him. So I guess I've just got several questions for you. So firstly, are you charging enough for your products and service? I mean, how do you know you're charging enough? Are you certain? Have you done the market research? And have you tested raising your prices with certain customers, new customers, or just within certain services or product lines that you haven't tried? Because you can do this. You don't have to do it with all of your business overnight. You can simply just test a certain selection of customers or a certain product line and keep the rest fixed. So you're not going to literally blow up your business overnight if people react and say, I've had enough, you can't do that, and they go a bit crazy and leave the company or go on social media and talk about that. Okay, so we want to manage and control that. And the other thing is to look at what you're doing. Are you discounting things unnecessarily? So perhaps, have you tried holding your pricing firm to see where the boundary is between keeping your customers and losing your customers? Where is really that line? Okay, and ultimately, is there enough value? Are you providing enough value, to your customers in order for you to ask that higher price and just avoid discounting like the free calls or whatever? You see, if you haven't established the value, then all you can talk about is the price. So, I'll give you an example in coaching, English coaching, for example, right? In my academy, my pricing is the price it is. That is the price you pay. But it's because you're getting quality. You're getting a detailed service from me, you're getting full support, you're getting downloadable classes, you've got access to an online forum and to network with other students and job opportunities and, overseas possibilities. So it really is providing you great value for money. But if I just was there saying I provide English conversation, then so is everybody else, at $10 to $15 an hour. And, that's the point. What I offer is so much more. It's like the Rolls-Royce service or the Mercedes-Benz of advanced English coaching, and it's so much more than that. It's life coaching thrown in with there as well. So that's what you got to do. If you haven't established the value, then all your customers can talk about is the price, and so can you, and you've got a problem. So ultimately, I'd say, although you can and should manage your expenses aggressively, the majority of your profitability will actually come from decisions you make about revenue. So if you just think, well, I can increase my profits by reducing my supplier costs or this and that, that's not a good strategy. Because there is only so much that you can push your supplier costs down and your overheads down before there's no more you can cut. So you have to do probably the two and increase your rates, okay, and reduce those discounting or stop them altogether. And although more customers is always good, I mean, that's great. An excellent way to raise the revenue and profitability actually is to increase your prices and stop the discounting. Because there's only so many customers. If you're just a one-person company, you don't have a team and you provide your services, so you're selling your time, then there's only so many clients a day you can take. And then you've got a problem. So you can't take on any more customers, and if your pricing is too low, you're stuck. So you have to raise those prices. And I suppose the last thing that I want to leave you with here is this. Remember this, virtually every dollar of a price increase drops straight onto that bottom line, okay? And every dollar of discount comes straight off the bottom line. So just remember that when you're thinking about your strategies here. I hope you found this of interest to you. If you have, then do let me know. I would be fascinated to get your feedback.